Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. This is Attorney Clopper, and I wanted to keep my promise to you that we're going to do a live every day. And so we're 22 days in a row, and the reality is, I still got a lot to do tonight, and I got to walk the dog. So we're joining Mountain today in the Hollywood Hills. Hey, Mountain, speak for me, buddy. Speak. Hey, sit. Speak. Good boy. See, he's learning. But anyway, the series of live streams is to promote Intact Global's upcoming inaugural conference, March 29 to 31. I had a great 40-minute call with the director of events in the Pioneer Courthouse Square today. We nailed down all the logistics. We're going to get the permit. It's when we're going to file our constitutional challenge to male genital mutilation, right, on constitutional equal protection grounds. And in simple terms, we have a constitution and our state statutes need to adhere to the principles outlined in that constitution. Both each state has its constitution and then the federal constitution. Well, in Oregon's state constitution and in most state constitutions, it is unlawful unless there's a compelling reason and narrow interest that you cannot protect just one sex of people from a harm and not protect the other sex or the other sexes, right? However, for the last 30 years or so, America's only protected baby girls from genital cutting. There's no reason in ethics or biology or medicine where that's the difference. It's just, male genital mutilation has been around in our culture longer, right? Well, we're going to challenge that. And we've got great grounds to do it. We're very excited. And we'll be doing that at the end of Intact Global's conference. So, Jessica, if there are any comments, feel free to put them up on the screen. But yeah, the reality is these daily live streams were done to sell tickets and, hype up the conference. But I got a couple of press inquiries I need to respond to, but I've just been too busy with this trial that's upcoming. But the reality is, we're close to sold out. I think we've got 8 tickets left, but it's already like more than successful. And, even if we sell those 8, it's going to be a little cramped, but we'll do what we can. So yeah, if you're interested in this movement, and it is an important movement, it is a movement that pulls us out of the child sacrifice timeline, right? Because for all, not all of humanity, but 10,000, 5,000 BC. Oh, Iran, excellent. Glad to hear you got your conference ticket today, as well as a room. That is dope. Well, we're very happy to meet you, Iran, and we're very stoked that you can make it. Yeah, we met the room block too for Intact Global, which is great because I put up my business company credit card as collateral if we didn't. So I believe in you guys. But yeah, the reality is it's gonna be great. A stroll around the block with a mountain of ideas. Exactly. So we got Buddy here. Hey, Mountain, can you sit for me? Speak. Good boy. See, we'll give him a little treat. So we have a command called touch, where he'll touch my hand. And I pretty much do that when we've got cars around. It's a good recall, or if he's like playing with other dogs or whatever. I think pushing home births would also lower circumcision rates. That's absolutely true. And the reality is, it will certainly be cheaper, and you're not going to have unnecessary medical procedures. That's for sure. And I think America, and excuse, I'm a little winded because we just walk uphill, right? But I think America has the highest rate of infant mortality in the developed nation, right? And there's actually a clear gender line. It's mostly male. Oh, it's Chris, my friend. We met him the other day. Chris, I'm doing a live stream, but it's
Live?
yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, Mountain. That's not a friendly face. Yeah, catch over. So that was my friend Chris. He produces records here, I guess. I'm not that I'm in the running, but we essentially shepherded a crazy drug addict out of the neighborhood the other day. And, we tried. We're like, dude, you go left if you want to get out. He's wearing all these clothes and like multiple coats and all that, and screaming at how he's trying to escape. Hi, sorry. Hey, Mountain, what's that about? So anyway, we became friends because we had to walk him 2 miles as he like insisted to go uphill. Then we went to the supermarket and I told the owner, who I owe a favor to because he helped me out at my last trial. It's like, look, dude, this guy's going to be a problem. He's like, no problem to me yet. And so obviously he stayed 10 minutes after closing, then demanded he ring up the items about 20 times. And but Mountain's a pretty big dog, so I was like, let's let Alex go home. So anyway, as Ocean Birth said, home birth is statistically safer than a hospital birth. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Oh look, I can see the comments here. Maddie, great to see you. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna leave it to Ocean Birth. So yeah, how many attendees do you expect at the conference? So if it were to happen this weekend, probably about 60, right? Which is like great. 50, like 30 would have been okay. 50 would have been like, okay, we nailed it. 60 is excellent. I think 70 capacity, right? I don't even know if they can seat us in a bigger room. So we're we're at golden range right now. So if you want a ticket to Intact Global's conference, and you should, and I got two new speakers too, attorneys from Portland. Yeah, people are getting behind us. And I'm doing this all while managing a trial against the city of Los Angeles. And tomorrow they're going to get to see all the work I've done in the last 6 weeks, full time with my co-counsel. And it's excellent. So anyway, there's a lot going on in the background, but what's most important, Intact Global's upcoming conference, March 29 to 31. I think there's maybe 7 tickets left now that RN is coming. I didn't see that the last time I checked. So yeah, if you are interested in the movement, Maddie says, history will look back kindly upon you, Eric. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's just so absurd. We've all tried very hard, put a lot of effort into this movement and in an intelligent direction, right? We're not just, doing random things. The fact that somebody needs to do this is really outrageous. I mean, it's really profoundly stupid that an entire society immediately mutilates half of its children upon birth, or maybe more if you count the like 0.5% intersex, which you should, right? Because there's no reason you should be performing medically unnecessary cosmetic surgeries on the genitals of children, right? That is practically more common than not in some states. Oh no. So anyway, yeah, I appreciate that. As Alyssa says, since your company is globally minded, are you planning on attending WW Doga in Cologne, or have you been submitting a speech to that event? Well, the reality is I have to do speeches for and like interviews for this Portland event, which is in 14 days. So no, I have not designed a speech for that event that I did not know about, but I am happy to look into it, right? That is, if you want to email me the details, but the reality is I'm pretty much can't do much more than I'm already doing. But yeah. Oh yeah, so I'll maybe if I go turn it like this, it'll be better. That's infinitely better, right? Because I had to read like half of the screen. So anyway, conference link is below here, right? Right there. We got 7 tickets left. This I think is much more comfortable for me too. And I'll bring you know what? I actually have a gimbal, and that way I can do both of these things. But yeah, we're only trying to sell 7 tickets left. As Jake says, future boys, when asked who their role models are, Eric will be honest. Well, I appreciate that. At a certain point, foot down and say that behavior is not okay. And literally mutilating infants is that line, and it's a reasonable line. And that's what's so startling, is that we allowed it to get this far out of control. So we're going to reel it back in. And Oregon is the state we're going to start on March 31st, right? It is the conclusion of this conference. See, isn't that a nice neighborhood? But yeah, so we're gonna shake things up, and we're gonna actually move things along. And if you watch my live from 2 days ago, I talk about this Bloomberg article, 2015. or 16, how fast America changes its mind. And you'll see it once one state flips on this, others flip very quickly. You saw with marriage equality, that graph goes pretty much straight up. I bet we could do that with our issue as well. We're going to start with Oregon. That's the first step, just like Massachusetts was the first step in marriage equality, 2004. And other states are like, oh, you know what? The society functions perfectly fine if we respect the equal right to marry. And then other states were fine. And what's going to happen in Oregon? They're going to say, oh my God, you know what? Society didn't collapse when we stopped parents from mutilating their children. It's like, oh yeah, or we should say medical professionals, right? Or people in the medical field would be more appropriate. Yes, vegan atheist. I had to walk the dog because my girlfriend's been on a movie set for like the last 4 days. And then I had to do the live because I promised you guys I was going to do a live every day until the conference. So we're day 22. And then I also have to finish a filing application for Pro Hoc Vitae. And that's Latin for this one time only. So essentially, I'm admitting Peter Adler to be co-counsel with me at the trial I have against Los Angeles on April 30th. So that will be great. I'd say there's about 20 plus million in dispute. So, win there will go a very long way. But what really matters is that we win this constitutional challenge that's coming up. Oh, we have some, hey, Mountain. Hi. We have, hey, Mountain, stop, don't do that. He's friendly. He just was like, I want to say hi. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, anyway. So Mountain just hey, Mountain. Hey, buddy. Can you look at me? Can you sit? Can you sit? Okay, he's very interested in the phone. But vegan atheist, there he is. I'll show you guys the view from the top of the hill that I live on. It's pretty cool, actually. The sun's just about to go down over the Hollywood Hills. It's actually quite nice to live here. And I see why people, prefer it, but I appreciate the cold and the hardship as well. And Portland offers both. Or Oregon, I should say. So, when we go there on March 31st, it might not be the most beautiful weather. I'm just going to tell you right now. And that's okay because we're here to fight for children. And rain or shine or thunderstorm or hailstorm or twister, you name it, we're going to be there. So anyway, if this were to end tomorrow, what will you then do with your life? Well, my primary job is litigating, hardcore in Los Angeles. It's what I do. So I'm just going to keep doing that for a while. And then, we'll see. But I think what's important is that we end the genital mutilation of children. For me, it's just kind of like a quest, right? Now that I run a law firm, it's like, okay, bills are paid, we're doing good. Let's up the ante. And that's why we're doing this conference. As Dylan says, you look better rested. It's true. I slept a lot this weekend. I also worked all weekend, but not with the same level of intensity. Yeah, this is Los Angeles, baby. I'll get a gimbal next time. I think I'll make it better. But these daily streams are a lot easier for me when I'm walking the dog, because then, we get out, we can have a conversation. As Alan says, seems like public education on how circumcisions are not like vaccines would be helpful in helping people understand, because it seems like some people sort of think of it like that, unbelievably. Yes. So vaccines, and I've got a case about vaccines, I'll tell you guys if you're interested, but they're very effective, right? For eliminate smallpox and measles and other stuff. Now, should they be unquestionably accepted? No, that's silly, and no other medical procedure is, right? But the reality is, we're talking about prompting the immune system as opposed to mutilating the sex organs of a child, right? You're removing a body part. This is not a minor thing that you won't even remember the next day. Dude, I appreciate that. What I really want, vegan atheists, this was a good question. I'm coming back to what would I want to do? Well, if you guys seen the sex and circumcision play, I was 25, 32 now. I was ripped. Like I could do sets of 400 pounds of deadlifts, like no problem. Right. And I was fast and, all that good stuff. So I think I'd want to get like, not that level, but fit again. I wouldn't say that you look at me and say, oh, unfit, but there's different levels to this. So anyway, so definitely share my stream on your channel. Remember, the purpose of this is to promote the Intact Global Conference, March 29 to 31. I did not grow up in Cali. The circ rates are super low. Speaking of the circumcision rate in Oregon, it's about 24% in 2012. That's what my paralegal found. And who will be there, Chase, who's a legend. And he was actually at the original Harvard performance. So talk about full circle. But anyway, yeah, they were about 1 in 4, so half are boys. So 1 in 8 children were generally cut about 13 years ago. They have a Supreme Court case where they call it what was it, an invasive procedure, which of course it is, right? And they actually sided with the young man who was like, I don't know, 15 or 16. He said, "Look, I don't want to be circumcised." Like, dude, we got to take his opinion into account. Well, the reality is, our lead plaintiff, Dane Hadachek, he's 17. He is practically a full-grown man, but there's no statute of limitations issues, so that's good. But yeah, he's saying, look, what was done to me was wrong, but maybe, well, we should protect other children from this, right? We need to protect individuals' decisions and autonomy. And also, this is a body part that is important for sexual function. And to say it's not is like saying your eyelids are unimportant. It is just, it's nonsense. Anyway, is there any way we can get the circumcision play on DVD? Yeah, you could download it on Vimeo. There's a free HD download, and then you can burn it to a DVD. It's there for free. I know YouTube kind of requires a sign in, which is unfortunate because it was going exponential graph, and it should. And maybe I'll post it on X. They're a little less moderaty. Um, but maybe if I reposted it too, maybe it was just too early. But yeah, so there's about 7 tickets left. There could be less at this point, but I implore you, if this movement is important to you, of protecting children from genital cutting, like sawing parts of their bodies off at birth for no medical purpose, get a ticket, right? Because there's going to be 11 attorneys presenting there. Well, at least 9, right? I'm in conversations with 2 new Portland attorneys who are thinking of giving a talk. And then other leaders of other organizations like GALDEF, DOC, and Intaction, right? So Tony Lasquato for Intaction, Tim Hammond for GALDEF, and John Geisiger for DOC, Doctors Opposing Circumcision, right? Because remember, the vast majority of doctors don't do this and are like aghast that we do this. As Greg says, are these lawsuits sealed? Can plaintiffs ask to have their identities concealed? The reality is no, they're not sealed, and it will be published on the public docket. And you could find a plaintiff that wants his identity concealed, but the reality is that's not a plaintiff that I want, because there are plenty of potential plaintiffs who fit the profile. So there's no shortage of plaintiffs. I think we just need to do it in Oregon and then show, look, we know what we're doing. This is a competent operation, right? Just ask any of the defendants I litigate against. So no, but seriously, Ocean Birth, I hear you. I will repost it. Let's talk about that later, when exactly and where. I actually have some ideas already. Mayo it is. You got it, around. So yeah, you can make a DVD if you want, give it to your friends who are pregnant and say, look, you got to watch this. I'll give you $50 or whatever it is. But yeah, that seems to be quite effective in telling people, look, you shouldn't mutilate your infants. It was quite a significant lift, as was this upcoming conference. But I'm going to warn you right now, because I know I'm known for the theatrics. Is I just the I would say the theatrical value of my talk. There might be slightly less theatrical production value, but there's a great plan. So you're going to have to bear with me. But I can only do so much, and I had time to prepare for that Harvard performance. Like I said, we win the next trial, I might be able to just do it, right? It's like I want public support, and if you guys support this, we can get it done. But there is a possible outcome. I'm not saying it's going to happen, that I could just do it with my, float it with the firm. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, and this is another vantage point on the daily walk. You could see you got Griffith Park, which is right there. Bam. Griffith Park. And we got Mr. Buddy, who has much lower center of gravity than I do. But yeah, so I think this is a good place to end it. You got it, Maddie. I will. The reality is, I'm in the middle of of a of civil litigation. uh, this Oregon thing is also is civil litigation, and it's also, we need to remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I have sprinted before, and that's how I get those bags under my eyes. Will the eggplant be there? That is a great question. Maybe as a throwback, we'll include that. The level of graphic production is a little, uh, we're gonna do our best, right? I'm getting a whole bunch of notifications coming in. So anyway, I appreciate that, Maddie. It's a beautiful day in the Hollywood Hills. I'll probably do this more often. I have no, uh, just because I could do two things at once. So, if you guys don't tune in the stream, well, at least I got my walk in, right? But if you have questions, you can answer me on the go, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So buy your ticket. What? Buy your ticket today before they sell out, because they probably will. The conference is the following Saturday, right? Not this one, but the next one. So, all right. Good night, guys.